I tie the final pink balloon to the fence post and take a few steps back to admire my work. The backyard looks almost enchanted under the soft autumn light. 9 pink place settings are arranged neatly along the picnic table, each one complete with a folded napkin shaped like a tiny crown. The bounce house, a $275 indulgence that made my credit card ache, towers over everything else. Its pastel turrets glittering beneath the October sun. On the dessert table sits the crown jewel, a pixel princess cake inspired by Grace's favorite video game. 9 bright candles standing tall like soldiers waiting for their cue. Perfect, I whisper to myself. Though no one is there to hear it, I glance at my watch. 11:42. Mom and my sisters should have arrived by now. They'd promised to come early and help me set up, but like so many of their promises, that one disappeared as easily as morning mist. The sliding glass door creaks open behind me. Grace bursts into the yard, her purple dress flaring as she spins. It's her royal color, the one she insisted on for weeks. Sequins flash like tiny stars when she twirls. Mom, is it time? Is it time? She squeals, her excitement contagious. Then she freezes mid-spin. Her wide eyes sweep across the empty yard. Where's Grandma? And Aunt Brooke and Aunt Tessa? Are they bringing Tyler? Did they see the bounce house yet? I force a cheerful tone. They're on their way, honey. Probably just running a little late. Grace's smile falters, then rebuilds itself with effort. Okay, I'll watch for them from the window. She darts back inside, her curls bouncing. I bite the inside of my cheek until I taste blood. I should have known better than to believe they'd actually show up early, or at all. The doorbell rings, and I hear Grace's squeal of joy from inside. For a split second, hope stirs. Maybe they came after all. But when I round the corner, Grace's face has already fallen. Standing at the door is only Aunt Helen, smiling gently. A wrapped gift tucked under her arm. Happy birthday, sweetheart, Helen says, bending down to hug her. Grace hugs back, but peers around her aunt, scanning the driveway. Is Grandma coming with you? Helen's eyes meet mine over Grace's shoulder. A flicker of irritation passes through them before she looks back down at Grace. Just me today, honey. But look what I brought you. She holds out the gift, wrapped so neatly. It looks like it came from a boutique window display. That's Aunt Helen for you, I think. Always thoughtful, always precise. Thank you, Grace says softly. Can I put it with the other presents, Mom? Of course, baby. Everything's out back. When Grace skips away, Helen steps inside and shuts the door behind her. Her voice lowers. Marlene and the girls aren't coming, are they? Before I can answer, my phone buzzes. I don't need to look to know who it is. Mom, don't be dramatic. It's just a kid's party. We'll make it up to her at Christmas, just a kid's party. Just my kid's party. Helen reads my expression before I speak. That's your answer, then, she says quietly, squeezing my arm. I'm sorry, Olivia. The doorbell rings again, parents dropping off Grace's classmates. The yard fills with laughter as 8 little girls in sparkly dresses arrive, each clutching a gift bag or a handmade card. My neighbor from across the street shows up with folding chairs and a cooler full of juice boxes. Mrs. Harper from 2 doors down brings an extra tray of sandwiches and a knowing smile. For the next hour, I move through the party like a ghost underwater, smiling, snapping photos, serving cake, and supervising the bounce house. Grace's laughter rings across the yard, but every few minutes her gaze drifts toward the gate. Her eyes light up whenever it creaks open, then dim when it's just another classmate's parent. Not her grandmother. When are Grandma and Aunt Brooke and Aunt Tessa and Tyler coming? She asks for what must be the 10th time, tugging at my sleeve as I refill the snack bowls. I'm not sure, sweetheart, I say softly, smoothing her hair. But look at all your friends who came to celebrate you. She nods, forcing a grin, and runs off to the bounce house. But I see the slump in her small shoulders. She's learning too young that some people don't show up, even when they promise they will. My mind drifts as I collect empty plates. Last Christmas flashes before me, $840 I didn't have. Spend on gifts for everyone because family matters. 3 months ago, I paid Brooke's salon rent, $1,650 that vanished into thin air. They always say the same thing. Olivia can handle it. She's good with numbers. Good with numbers, as if that means good with being taken for granted. When Dad left 20 years ago, Mom had turned to me with solemn authority. "You're the head of this family now," she said, as though his absence had promoted me to provider. My phone buzzes again. I glance at the screen and my stomach knots. A photo. Mom, Brooke, Tessa, and Tyler at a downtown brunch spot, mimosa glasses raised in a toast. The caption reads, family first, right, Mom? Grace's voice yanks me back to the present. She's standing beside the gift table, surrounded by her giggling friends. "Can I open my presents now?" "Of course, birthday girl," I say, forcing a smile that doesn't quite reach my eyes. Grace rips into each gift with bright enthusiasm. Dolls, books, a glitter art kit. She thanks every friend with genuine joy. But when the last present's unwrapped, her little voice trembles. Did Grandma forget my birthday? The question slices through me like glass. I open my mouth, but the words don't come. Helen steps in gently. "Your grandma has a terrible memory sometimes, sweetheart. Maybe she's planning a big surprise for another day." Grace brightens slightly at that idea and runs back to the bounce house for one last jump before her guests leave. Helen gives me a long look. "This isn't right," she murmurs. I nod, unable to speak past the lump in my throat. When the last car pulls away and the yard grows quiet again, I retreat to the kitchen. I wash dishes slowly, tears mingling with soap bubbles. Through the window, I can see Helen helping Grace draw a rainbow on the driveway with sidewalk chalk. Their heads bent together. My phone vibrates again. Another message from Mama Marlene. "Need $350 for a family emergency. Can you send it today?" The plate in my hand cracks in half. I stare at it and the message as something inside me fractures too. Years of pressure, guilt, and silent endurance finally give way. I set the broken pieces in the sink, dry my hands, and stare at the screen. No tears this time. Just clarity. A week later, my phone buzzes across the kitchen counter while I'm slicing apples for Grace's lunch. She's at the table, carefully shaping her sandwich into triangles like I taught her, her tongue poking out in concentration. Small acts like this, the lunch note with a heart, the neat slices of fruit, are my quiet ways of saying, "You matter." The phone buzzes again. And again. The family group chat. My stomach tightens as I wipe my hands on a towel and pick it up. After a week of silence since Grace's birthday, the screen lights up with my mother's latest announcement. Marlene. Exciting news. Brooke's Sweet 16 reimagined venue is confirmed. $1,850 per guest. Olivia will cover Grandma's share since she's on a fixed income. I blink at the message, unsure I'm reading it right. Brooke is 26, not 16. Mom means Sweet 26. The next message from Tessa confirms it. Tessa, theme, second chance at 16. Since Brooke's real one was at that VFW hall, this time it will be classy. I open the attached PDF and my heart stutters. A sponsorship page, glossy, colorful, listing Olivia Grant. Platinum sponsor beneath my LinkedIn profile photo. What? The how. Another text pops up. Tessa, Olivia, you're the accountant. Just handle the deposit, okay? Deadline's this weekend. Not a question. A command, Mom? Grace appears in the doorway. a Lego spaceship in hand. Can you help me with this part? In a minute, sweetheart. My voice sounds distant, even to myself. I watch her shuffle back to her room, the same little slump in her shoulders from the birthday party. Once she's gone, I open my banking app. The balance reads $4,213.47. Every penny already spoken for. Rent, groceries, the braces Grace needs next month. The stack of unpaid medical bills sits beside my laptop, reminders of when she broke her arm 2 years ago. Insurance covered most, but that $1,200 deductible had emptied my savings. I'd even sold Grandma Rose's silver ring, the only heirloom I ever owned, to pay for it. Grandma Rose taught me to balance a checkbook when I was 10. She'd be horrified to see how her daughter treats me now. I open my color-coded budget spreadsheet. Rent, $1.025 utilities, $187, 32 groceries, $420 car payment, $315, 76 after school, care, $240 tight margins, but manageable as long as my family doesn't show up with another emergency. My phone pings again. Another Vimo request from Mom, $1,850, the same amount listed in the PDF. I scroll through my old transactions. $650 for Brooks salon rent, $420 for Mom's patio furniture, $840 for Christmas gifts. None repaid. Not even acknowledged beyond a quick, "Thanks, Liv." Text at Marlene Grant is an expert at weaponizing guilt. "After everything I sacrificed for you, girl," she says, as if motherhood were a debt I owe. Brooks Salon bleeds money, every crisis another plea for cash. Tessa's credit cards are maxed out from online shopping. And me? I'm the safety net they never think till the doorbell rings. Grace beats me to it. "I've got it," she calls. A moment later, Aunt Helen steps into the kitchen, holding a casserole dish that smells like heaven. She takes one look at my face and frowns. "What happened?" Wordlessly, I turn my phone toward her. She reads the messages, her jaw tightening. "They have some nerve," she mutters. "After skipping Grace's birthday?" "Brunch," I say bitterly. "I saw the photos." Helen sets the casserole down and squeezes my hand. "You know, Olivia, your mom's always been like this. But you don't have to keep letting her." Before I can answer, there's a knock at the back door. Mrs. Harper, my 71-year-old neighbor, waves through the glass, holding a loaf of banana bread. "Brought you a little something," she says cheerfully, stepping in. Then, seeing our faces, her smile softens. "Bad timing?" "Family drama," Helen says with a side out. Mrs. Harper nods knowingly. She's seen the pattern for years, the endless favors, the late-night calls, the missed shifts. She's watched it all quietly, offering casseroles instead of judgment. "Oh, and your coworker Ethan called," she adds. "Said if you need tomorrow off, he'll cover your shift. He told me to tell you he's returning the favor, Ethan. Always dependable. One of the few who actually keeps his word. Thanks." "Mrs. Harper," I say softly. Just then, Grace appears again, clutching a piece of paper. "Mommy, can I hang this on the fridge?" It's a school drawing labeled "My Family." 2 stick figures, just her and me, holding hands under a yellow sun dot. My throat tightens. "Of course, sweetheart," as I help her tape it to the fridge. I notice the stack of thank you cards she wrote herself for her birthday guests, each one decorated with clumsy, colorful stars that night after she's asleep. I pass by her room and hear her whispering, "God, please make Grandma like me more." I stop in the hallway, frozen. Something in me cracks. Later, at my laptop, I find an email that wasn't meant for me, accidentally forwarded from the hotel hosting Brooks' event. The contract was signed 3 weeks ago, before Grace's birthday. They'd known all along they wouldn't be coming. My chest tightens, but this time there's no despair. Only focus. I open a new spreadsheet and start documenting every transfer, every unpaid loan, every broken promise from the past 3 years. The total makes my stomach twist. $23,470, almost $24,000 gone. Money that could have gone toward Grace's future. I flip open my calendar. 14 vacation days used for family events. Hospital visits, helping mom redecorate. Driving. Tessa to job interviews. She never attended. Not one day off for myself. I open Facebook. Mom's latest post fills the screen. A family photo captioned, "So blessed with my girls." They've cropped me out completely. A slow, icy anger seeps through me. Not the kind that burns, but the kind that clarifies. For the first time, I see the pattern for what it is. Not love, not loyalty, but control. I pick up my phone and open the Venmo app. My fingers hover over the screen. Then I type, recipient, Marlene Grant amount, $1 note. Congrats. I hesitate for one heartbeat, then tap send. The confirmation appears. A single dollar sent, a symbolic severing of years of emotional debt. I take a screenshot and save it in a folder I name Boundaries. From the living room, Grace's laughter floats toward me. She's arranging her stuffed animals for a tea party. No cousins. No grandmother, just fabric friends who never let her down. Mom, can we have spaghetti tonight? She calls. Absolutely, I say, my voice steadier than it's been in months. For once. I mean, by noon the next day, I've already made 3 phone calls I should have made years ago. The locksmith arrives at 2:15 sharp, a short, broad man named Frank who whistles through his teeth while working. The rhythmic click-clack of tools fills the silence as he replaces both locks, front and back. When he finishes, he hands me 2 gleaming keys. All set, ma'am. No one gets in without these now. I pay him $175, less than a single favor my sisters usually demand. After he leaves, I stand in the doorway for a long moment, feeling something shift. The air feels lighter. For the first time in years, my home feels like mine, while Grace naps on the couch. I sit at the kitchen table and finish the spreadsheet I started last night, documenting every dollar that's left my account for their emergencies. The total still makes me dizzy. $23,470. That's not just money. That's braces, savings, a family vacation, all stolen in the name of love. My phone buzzes over and over throughout the afternoon. 20 unread messages. I silence it. Instead, I draft an email to the hotel hosting Brooke's party, attaching proof that my name was used without authorization. Within an hour, a polite response lands in my inbox. We deeply apologize for the confusion. Ms. Grant, your name has been removed from all sponsorship materials. 1 chain broken. By evening. Grace and I are sitting at our small table, twirling spaghetti noodles. She hums between bites, giggling at the cartoons flickering on our tiny kitchen TV. A blob of tomato sauce dots her chin. Watching her like this, carefree, full of laughter, something inside me softens. This is what matters. Not approval. Not fake family unity. Just peace. The doorbell rings at 8:47 p.m. through the peephole. I see them, my mother, Brooke, and Tessa, standing on the porch, faces twisted in outrage. Olivia Grant. Mom shouts, her voice cutting through the door. Open this door right now. I step back as the pounding begins. Grace appears behind me, clutching her stuffed rabbit. Is that Grandma? Yes, sweetheart, I say calmly. But she forgot to call before visiting. It's late, we're not opening the door tonight. The pounding grows louder. You can't hide forever. Brooke's voice pierces the air. After everything we've done for you, I don't move. My hands tremble, but my heart is steady. Outside, porch lights flick on. Mr. Patterson across the street crosses his arms, watching. Curtains shift next door. The entire block can see what my family refuses to hide, their chaos laid bare for the world, then flashing blue lights. The police. Of course they called them. Officer Thompson steps onto the porch, his expression calm but firm. I recognize him. He coached Grace's soccer team last spring. Evening, Miss Grant, he says. We got a call about a family dispute. Behind him, my mother lifts her chin dramatically. She's refusing to return property that belongs to our family. And she's been sending threatening messages. Grace tightens her grip on my sweater. Would you mind if I stepped inside for a moment? The officer asks gently. In the kitchen, I show him everything. The texts, the Venmo screenshot, the years of proof that I've been supporting them financially without repayment. I'm not threatening anyone, I say. I'm just setting boundaries. I changed the locks today because I don't feel safe letting them in anymore. He scrolls through my phone, nodding slowly. Looks like they're used to you taking care of everything, he says finally. And now that's changing. Outside, he talks to them for several minutes. Through the blinds, I see their postures deflate, their anger melting into confusion. Then, one by one, they leave. Mom throwing one last glare before storming off. When the street is quiet again, I double-check the locks. Grace sits on her bed, hugging her rabbit, eyes wide. Mom, she whispers, am I not important enough? Is that why they didn't come to my birthday? The question nearly buckles me. I kneel beside her, taking her tiny hands in mine. Oh, baby, I say softly, you are the most important person in the world to me. That's why I'm doing this, to protect you from people who don't know how to treat us right. My phone buzzes again on the nightstand. Another message from Mom. You'll regret this. Family is everything. I delete it without reading further. Then I tuck Grace in, brushing her hair from her forehead. It's just us two, I whisper. And that's more than enough. That night, I lie awake for a long time, waiting for guilt, waiting for fear. But neither comes. Only quiet. The next morning, my phone is full of messages. Aunt Helen, you did the right thing. They're furious but proud of you. Mrs. Harper, those brownies cooling on my counter won't eat themselves. Come by later. Ethan, need any extra shifts? I can swap with you this weekend. Grace's teacher, she seems happier lately. Everything okay at home? I read them all and exhale. For the first time in years, I realized something important. Family isn't always blood. Sometimes, it's the people who step up when others walk away. The house feels lighter that day, like it's finally exhaled with me. I sip my coffee by the window as the morning sun filters through the curtains. Grace sits cross-legged on the floor, humming softly as she lines up her crayons in a perfect rainbow. Outside, the world feels steady. Inside, for the first time in a decade, I feel free. My phone buzzes at 6:30 a.m., jolting me awake before my alarm. The light from the screen glows against the dark bedroom ceiling. Brooke Allen mentioned you in a post. I already know it's going to sting, but I tap anyway. There it is, a long, self-righteous paragraph written for the world to see. When toxic people show their true colors, it's heartbreaking. Some people pretend to care about family until they're asked to contribute. Then suddenly they're too good for the rest of us. I guess money means more than memories to some folks. 17 comments already, full of sympathy from relatives I haven't spoken to in years. So sorry you're going through this. Sweetie, you're better off without negative energy. Blood isn't always thicker than water. Not one person asks for my side. Not one even hesitates before assuming I'm the villain. The familiar ache presses behind my eyes. I scroll through the comments, each one slicing deeper. I want to scream, to post screenshots of every transfer, every request, every emergency that drained me. I want to defend myself. Instead, I take a long breath and type 5 words. I wish you all well. Then I close the app. Grace's small voice floats from the hallway. Mom, are you okay? I look up, forcing a calm smile. I'm fine, sweetheart. Just checking emails. She nods and pads back to her room, curls bouncing. I wait until her door clicks shut before letting the tears fall. Not out of sadness, but relief. For the first time, I didn't explain myself. I didn't beg to be understood. I simply let go. Later, as I rinse breakfast dishes, my phone rings again, a number I don't recognize. I almost ignore it, but something tells me to answer. Hello? Olivia, it's your Uncle Dean. I freeze. My father's brother, a voice I haven't heard since my high school graduation. Uncle Dean. Wow, it's been years. I know, he says, his tone rough, older. Your mother called me yesterday. Tried to recruit allies, I think. Thought you might like to know you're not the first one she's done this to. The dish in my hand slips slightly. What do you mean? He sighs. Why do you think your father left Liv? He didn't walk away from you. He walked away from her. She drained him emotionally, financially, until there was nothing left. I grip the edge of the sink, my heart pounding. Dean continues softly. Your dad used to send me letters. Said he'd never seen someone carry so much guilt for other people's mistakes. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? I press a trembling hand to my chest. He never told me. Because he didn't want you to hate her, Dean says gently. He thought she'd change. But people like Marlene, they don't see love the way you do. To her, love means control. A lump rises in my throat. He's still alive, isn't he? A pause. He is. Lives upstate now. Keeps to himself, but he asks about you. My breath catches. For years, I'd convinced myself he was gone. That silence meant abandonment. But now, Dean promises to send me an old photo. Minutes later, it arrives, a picture from my 5th birthday. My father sitting beside me, eyes hollow, shoulders slumped. The same defeated look I'd seen in my own reflection not long ago. History repeating itself. I stare at the photo until tears blur the edges. Then I whisper, not anymore. A knock at the door startles me. I open it to find Mrs. Harper standing there, casserole dish in hand. Chicken and rice, she says with a warm smile. The ladies from St. Mark's will be by tomorrow with more. Oh, Mrs. Harper, that's really not. She cuts me off gently. We've been watching, dear. Some of us have stood where you're standing. Family can be a blessing or it can be quicksand. Before I can respond, she places her hand on my arm. There's a rotation of us keeping an eye out when certain cars drive by. Just so you know, the kindness is too much. I nod mutely as she leaves, tears spilling over. On the counter, I find an envelope tucked beneath the casserole. Inside is a $200 grocery card and a note for Grace's needs. No strings attached. That night, after Grace falls asleep, I sit at the kitchen table staring at the card. $200, not much by most standards. But it feels like the world. Because for once, it came from love, not guilt. I sink into a chair, hands trembling around the note. These people, my neighbors, my coworkers, even Aunt Helen, they owe me nothing. And yet, they show up. Exactly what my own family never learned how to do. The next day, I open my budget spreadsheet again. For the first time, I remove the family emergencies column entirely. The numbers shift like magic, revealing an extra $732 each month. Enough for Grace's braces. Enough for her future. Enough for us. I open a savings account in her name and transfer $100 as the first deposit. A seed for tomorrow. When I close the laptop, the silence feels different. Not lonely, peaceful. On Saturday morning, I take Grace grocery shopping. For the first time, I don't calculate every item down to the cent. At the checkout, I buy a $24 bouquet of tulips for no reason other than they're beautiful. Grace beams when we get home. They make the house smell like sunshine. I laugh. Exactly why I got them. Later that night, I tuck her into bed and glance at the tulips glowing softly in the lamplight. Their petals are opening, delicate but strong. Maybe that's what we're doing too. Saturday. Morning starts with the smell of laundry detergent and sunlight. Grace wanders into the living room, her hair a tumble of soft curls. Her pajamas a size too small, but still her favorite, the rainbow ones. Are we going to Aunt Brooke's party today? She asks casually as I fold towels on the couch. The question hits harder than it should. What? The Sweet 16 thing, she says, shrugging. I saw it on your calendar before. Taylor from school said her mom's going. She's friends with Grandma? For a second, I freeze, the guilt instinctively rushing in like a tide. Should I let them win again? Should I go just to keep the peace? But then Grace adds softly, I don't really want to go anyway. Those parties are boring. You have to wear itchy clothes and smile all the time. That's all I need to hear. I set the laundry aside and smile. How about the park instead? The basketball court should be empty this early. Her entire face lights up. Can we get ice cream after? Absolutely. Hours later, we're sitting in a booth at Dairy Dream, sharing a sundae dripping with chocolate fudge. Grace giggles as she tries to balance the cherry on her spoon, her laughter echoing through the small shop. Across from her, I can't stop smiling. There's no pretense, no pretending for appearances, just the two of us, free and happy in the simplest way. A woman at the next table leans over. Would you like me to take your picture? I hesitate, then hand her my phone. She snaps a photo mid-laugh, Grace with chocolate on her chin, me grinning like I haven't in years. It's imperfect, unposed, and radiant. When she returns the phone, I look at the picture for a long moment. It doesn't look like any of the forced family portraits Mom used to stage, the ones with tight smiles and hidden resentment. I like this one better than a fancy party, Grace says. Diving back into the sundae. So do I whisper. That night, as I'm washing dishes, my phone buzzes. A text from Aunt Helen. Aunt Helen, you dodged a bullet. Sweet 16 was a complete disaster. Curiosity prickles, but I don't respond. Seconds later, my phone rings. Okay, I answer, half smiling. Tell me. Helen's laughter crackles through the speaker. Where do I even start? They sat your mother next to the fog machine. You can imagine what that did to her asthma. She spent half the night coughing like a foghorn. Despite myself, I snort with laughter. Helen continues. Brooke fought with the DJ about every single song. Poor man looked ready to pull the plug. And when the bill arrived, she pauses for effect. Let's just say everyone suddenly discovered the art of avoiding eye contact. My laughter fades into a sigh. They went over budget, didn't they? By a mile. Without your platinum sponsorship, it couldn't cover half of it. The manager was furious. They even left your seat open like they'd saved a spot for your wallet. I cover my mouth, torn between guilt and satisfaction. I shouldn't feel good about that. It's not good fortune, Helen says firmly. It's consequence. When the call ends, I sit in the quiet kitchen, staring at the tulips on the counter. Their petals are almost fully open now, bright and unapologetic. For the first time, I don't feel small or guilty. I just feel steady. Monday morning at work. I'm entering data into a spreadsheet when a familiar perfume hits my nose. Chanel No. 5. My stomach sinks. I look up, and there she is. Marlene, my mother, standing in the doorway of my office in her Sunday best, pearl earrings gleaming. A practiced smile stretched across her face. We need to talk. She says loudly enough for my coworkers to look up. I force a professional smile. This isn't the place, Mom. I'm working. She walks in anyway, setting her purse on my desk, right on top of the report I've been updating for the past hour. Family comes first, she declares. I stand, guiding her toward the break room with a gentle hand on her elbow. 10 minutes, okay? As soon as the door closes, she begins her speech, polished, rehearsed. Your behavior lately has been cruel, Olivia. Pastor Wallace says forgiveness is God's way. He's concerned about our family division. I sip my coffee. Did you tell him why we're divided? She waves a dismissive hand. Details don't matter when it comes to family. They matter to me, I reply quietly, her eyes narrow. You've always been dramatic. Everything I did was for this family. No, Mom, I say, setting down my cup. Everything you did was for control. Her face flushes. You'll regret this. Maybe, I say, but at least it'll be my choice. That evening, there's an envelope in my mailbox, no return address. Inside, a single handwritten note. Children need their grandmother. Think about what you're doing to Grace Dot. My fingers tighten around the paper. The manipulation runs deep, but it won't work this time. The next day, Brooke's husband calls. Liv, just give them what they want, he pleads. Peace is worth the money. I almost laugh. Peace doesn't have a price tag. Then comes the Thanksgiving invitation, cream cardstock with gold lettering. A handwritten note at the bottom reads, Water under the bridge. If you contribute $750 for the venue, I set it down beside Grace's school photo. Her bright smile, the only reminder I need of what truly matters. That night, I pull out an old family picture, Christmas, 7 years ago. We're all smiling, but I remember what came after the flash, an argument over Dad. Questioning the credit card bill. One tap on my phone could reconnect me to them. One text could pull me right back into the cycle, but then I hear Grace's voice echoing in my mind. Am I not important enough? That settles it. I place the photo face down and replace it with Grace's school picture, her grin fearless and full of light. That night, I sit at the kitchen table long after Grace has gone to bed. The only light comes from the small lamp beside the tulips, their petals now wide open, soft and glowing like tiny suns. I pull out a blank sheet of paper. Then another dot, no more texts. No more half answers. This time, everything will be clear. I start writing, not with anger, but with precision. Every dollar loaned, every promise broken, every event they've skipped, every guilt trip disguised as family love. Line by line, I build the truth. By the end, it's not a letter. It's a record, the story of how I was raised to believe love meant sacrifice, and how I finally learned that it doesn't dot at the bottom. I write the words that have taken me 38 years to say. This isn't about money. It's about respect. I make 4 copies, one for Mom, one for Brooke, one for Tessa, and one for Pastor Wallace, since she dragged him into it. Each envelope is sealed, stamped, and sent certified mail. Proof that I've finally spoken. The next 2 days are quiet. Too quiet. Then a small envelope arrives, addressed to Grace Dot. She tears it open at the kitchen table. Inside is a handmade card covered in stickers and glitter glue. The handwriting is wobbly but sweet. Sorry I couldn't come to your birthday. Happy 9th. From Bethany. 3 crumpled dollar bills fall out. For ice cream, the note says. I'm saving for a bite, but I wanted you to have this. Grace stares at the bills like they're treasure. Mom, can we get ice cream tomorrow? Of course, sweetheart. She carefully tapes the card to the fridge, straightening it 3 times until it's perfect. Then she twirls around the kitchen, humming,